Robert Simpson, please update us on all your HIIT experience. Well, Robert, it's a good question. I'm very proud of it. I do a lot of work in that space. 2, sometimes 3 times a week, I go over to the Y. During the seasons, I'll do some long bike rides. I live right here in Lexington. I'm 2 miles from Keeneland, one of the prettiest horse racetracks in the world. It's a beautiful area. There's a half marathon that's run in that space in the horse country about 2 miles from my house. It's deemed the prettiest half marathon in the world. I think that's a self-designation. Bottom line is it's beautiful. I'm able to bike going through horse country. The reason I bring up biking and high intensity interval training is biking is a great way to do that. When you're going up hills, it accomplishes a couple of things. Number one, it hits the big lower body muscles. When men are talking about exercise, they're usually thinking about trying to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger and having big muscles up here. It doesn't matter who you are, even Arnold, your upper body muscles are nothing compared to the muscle mass down in the lower body. And that's what we're trying to work on, lower body muscle mass, working on insulin resistance. So cycling is a great way to deal with that. Also, when you start to go up a hill, and there are a lot of them, and they are steep here in Kentucky and near Keeneland, that's a great way to get HIIT. In the winter, I focus more on HIIT at the YMCA. We moved just 100 yards from a really good YMCA. So my typical high intensity interval training is this. It's the first half an hour of my workout, 2 to 3 times a week, I'll spend on the treadmill. I will crank up the incline on the treadmill to about half, not a significant one, but it's still some incline. And then I'll do a 5-minute interval at 8 miles per hour. Then I go and spend the next half an hour or so doing 1 to 2 minute intervals. The 2-minute intervals I usually crank up to a 4 in terms of incline and 8 miles per hour. So that becomes a big drain, especially the last 30 seconds of that 2-minute interval. And then I do a lot of 1-minute intervals where I'm going 10 miles an hour. It's a 6-minute mile pace. For those of you who are major runners, that may not seem like much, but for a 62-year-old guy who was never fast at all, a 6-minute mile pace or 10 mile per hour interval on hills wears me out, but it helps me sleep, and it helps a whole lot of other things. So thank you very much for asking about my HIIT. Here's the thing. My wife considers me the devil incarnate when I'm trying to counsel a patient regarding high-intensity interval training. She's much more into getting into it gently. I can understand that, but again, what you want when you're in high-intensity interval training is you want to be panting hard enough to where you can't sing, you can't talk. One of the reasons I bring that up is a major guideline that people have had in the past for long, slow distance aerobics was to be able to have a conversation while you're exercising. That does make sense for aerobics. High intensity interval training is not aerobics. It is high intensity interval training. So thank you very much for your question about HIIT. It is a very, very helpful component of lifestyle management and very unrecognized.
Continue to get great feedback regarding the webinars, and here's why. You know, on the internet, when you hear a webinar, you expect for somebody to try to sell you something. We're not doing that. We're trying to tell you something. People are coming in with their labs from Quest, inflammation panel, OGTT, insulin survey response, and then they're finding out, do I have inflammation? Do I have insulin resistance? And where does that fit in terms of other folks? We're getting ready to start one for CINT as well. So again, people are really excited about finding out their own status. Looking forward to seeing you there. Thanks.